Welcome to a live and kicking on location. I am Lisa Marie Benz, your host, and it's not often you're going to find me in a jacuzzi like this, but I am in a very special jacuzzi. I am in the jacuzzi of one of the original founding members of the band Foghat, Tony Stevens' jacuzzi in Edgewater. You may remember Foghat from the early 70s. They had such hits as Slow Ride, Fool for the City, and I Just Want to Make Love to You. Anyway, stay tuned because Tony Stevens is going to be joining me shortly to tell me all about the wonderful life of Foghat and everything that he's going to be doing in the future. So stay tuned. Well, thanks for joining me again for more Live and Kicking on Location. As I mentioned, I am being joined here with one of the original founding members of Foghat, Tony Stevens. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Lisa, how are we?
Good. Thank you so much for inviting me over here to this beautiful home with this beautiful jacuzzi. And I have to throw in, this is the only way he agreed to do an interview was in the jacuzzi. So that's the only reason I'm in the jacuzzi.
They always said I was a hot bass player, so let that fantasy carry on.
Right. So take us back to the early 70s when you got in the band Foghat, when you were with Savoy Brown, right?
That's right. In '68, we came over to the States. From England. Yeah, four of us. No, three of us actually, because Rod hadn't joined the band yet. We came over. We did 5 tours of America. Built up a really, really good reputation, a really good following. And then in the 1970s, 3 of us decided to leave. Roger, myself and Dave, decided to leave Savoy Brown after 4 albums and 5 tours. Basically, Kim was going one way. Kim was the lead guitarist with Savoy Brown and the owner. And we 3 of us decided to leave. So 1971 is when we formed Foghat. Dave, myself and Roger, and then we put together Rob Price. He came and joined us, and that was it. First album came out in '72, and we were touring in 1972 in America.
And your first big hit was Slow Ride?
No. First big hit, actually, first hit was Wanna Make Love, and that was from the first album. Basically, it's funny, with Savoy Brown, we had areas that took to us first, you know, like New York and LA. Never take to anybody. I think they're just jaded, you know. So they usually sit back on everything, all the music they've heard over the years. They just sit back on their laurels and say, "All right, knock me out." But area for Savoy Brown was Detroit, the Grande Ballroom, which basically I always remember and love. They took to us. And then for Foghat, the first major city that fell in love with us was New Orleans, a place called the Warehouse. So "Wanna Make Love" was a hit. I would say, yeah, Slow Ride for Foghat, about 1976, 76 was a very major hit, was their number 7. Everything else had been in the hundreds or around that mark. So yeah, Slow Ride, and that came off a Fool for the City album, but I had gone by then. I was out and doing TV work. I was in a TV show in England called Rock Follies, which was a very major TV show in England and around the world. It was a #1 hit TV show. The album was #1 as well. About 3 girls who wanted to form a rock band, so it was very hard for me to play part of the band, wasn't it?
Right.
They needed a bass player, so there I was, you know.
Right.
Basically, I came out of Foghat because I've been touring for 7, 8 years, what with Savoy Brown and what with Foghat as well. It was just time for change.
So now you left the band, and then you came back. When did you come back?
1993.
And then have you had any real big hits? Anything to compare it to success?
Not to Slow Ride. No. I mean, we made 3 albums, which was, first one was Return of the Boogeymen. That was when all 4 of us got back together again in '93. Then it was Road Cases, which had a very, very good producer called Ronnie Neverson, who produced Led Zeppelin, Bad Company, Heart, everybody, you know, Blood, Sweat and Tears, a load of people. And then the last album was 2003, 2004 was Family Jewels. And then unfortunately there's a legal wrangle which is happening now with Roger and myself. And I cannot play at the moment. I cannot be involved with folk at the moment, but next year I'll be out with something very new, very
Great.
wonderful for all my fan out there, wherever you are. I will be out, I will be back next year with something brand new and wonderful.
All right, well, I know my brother had your album. He wanted to have the band, and of course I'm very familiar with all the hits of Slow Ride and Fool for the City
Sure.
and Want to Make Love to You. But I always wondered, because I was very young when that album came out, how did you come up with the name Foghat? You probably get asked that a lot.
Yeah, well, everybody thinks that it was, you know, something to do with drugs or whatever. You know, I mean, people read into it what they want, but unfortunately, it was something just as simple as Lonesome Dave and his brother having a very drunken Scrabble game, and Dave was adamant that Foghat was a word, even though his brother proved to him by getting the dictionary out and saying, no, it's not a word. He said, I'm having it. And I think he got a triple word score for that one.
Well, and now it probably is a legitimate word because it's the name of a very successful band.
I would imagine if there is, you know, if there are new words being introduced into the dictionary, because over here in America we have different sayings, you know that. I mean, aluminum siding, we call it aluminium. All right. Garage, tomato. I mean, I haven't lost, I've been touring here now for 36 years, but I haven't lost my accent for two reasons. One, that I enjoy being English, I suppose, you know, it's my heritage. But two, you know, I suppose I tend to get young ladies that fawn after me. And young men as well. Because of the accent, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've got out a load of trouble with the English accent, so I'm keeping it. You know, it's not going to a toity-toity street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you, do you have any groupies still kind of chasing you to this day?
They're about 60 years of age, yeah. But I mean, they are the women from the 70s. So you know, but the funny thing is, there's 3 generations. Or that I saw last year, 3 generations of Foghat fans. You get the women that were around in the 70s, okay. Then you get their sons and daughters who are about 30, 31. They're about 56, 60, something like that, even older. Then you get the sons and the daughters around about, you know, the 30, 25, 30, 35. And they're bringing their kids as well. So they're bringing the 10 or the 15-year-olds to the concert. So you had 3 generations of Foghat fans, and obviously the younger one is the new one, and that's what we're aiming to turn on, because Mum and Dad's already turned on. Right. I mean, probably the kids were conceived to Slow Ride.
Well, and that was just in a commercial for the van.
Oh, well, I mean, that's it. I mean,
there's a van commercial out there that's featuring the song
Slow Ride has been used many, many times, and I'm glad that Dave wrote it, and that, you know, because Dave passed away in 2000. And his wife passed away in 2000 as well. They both died of cancer, unfortunately. But hopefully the estate will benefit from Slow Ride, you know, because the royalties go to the estate. So,
do you get any royalties out of any of that?
No.
And
No,
that
wasn't on. Well, Dave wrote it. I mean, I wasn't on it. I didn't play on it, unfortunately. I mean, I did on Road Cases. We did a live version of it with Dave and Roger myself. So obviously, any royalties coming from that album would be part of my income. But the original song, when it's played, that's basically Dave. That's Dave's income for his royalties for publishing, songwriting. And then anybody that uses his song, I mean, they have to pay X amount of thousands of dollars to be able to use it for the advert, which is good, because I'd say his estate benefits and his grandchildren and stuff like that. So good luck to him. You know. So what brought you to the United States from England? What made you decide you wanted to move here? Well, I still don't live here. You know, I spend anything from 5-6 months a year here working, or I did do until all this legal stuff, and now I can't. But that's cool. As I say, next year I'll be out with something wild and wonderful. Right. But no, and then I have a place in Spain on an island called, for the Spanish, Ibiza, for the English, Ibiza, for the American, Ibiza. Oh. Okay. So, and it's a little island in the Mediterranean with Mallorca and Mallorca. They call it the Balearic Islands. There's 3 off the coast of Spain, in Madrid, not off the coast of Barcelona. So it's a wonderful wonderful little island. So I go back there when I finished, or when I had finished touring. I go back there just to chill, you know, to get myself ready. Basically, just to reassociate my ears with real living, real sound, you know, and real volume. Because obviously, when you go out on the road, you're listening to. I started tour listening on a tape or a Walkman at number 3, and then when I finished that tour, I'd be listening to the same tape or the same track at 7. That's how much damage your ears are being subjected to. And so you need to readjust, at least for a couple of months, you know, when you're working with that volume. Mm-hmm. You know, really do. Else you become Mutt and Jeff, as we say in England, you become deaf.
Well, you know, some people say that if you lived in the 70s and if you can remember the 70s,
yeah,
you really weren't there.
What's your name? Who are you? I can't remember yesterday, but I can remember what I did 35 years ago very vividly. Maybe I shouldn't, you know, maybe that will catch up with me once.
Now, back in the 70s, when you, and 80s, as long as you've been touring, when you were with other bands, tell us some of the other big bands that you opened for or got to know.
Oh, well, with Savoy, we did some with Ike and Tina Turner.
Were they fighting?
Yeah, well, I would imagine so, but not on stage they didn't. Janis Joplin, we did some shows, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Blood, Sweat and Tears, Leon Russell, when he was out on the road with Delaney and Bonnie and everybody like that, had this big show. We played with a lot of people, as I say, Chicago, even you know, even now up to last year, when everything was cool in 1994. Hello.
Oh, here come the bubbles.
Well, the bubbles actually happen by themselves. It's every about 3 times. 3 times a day, it does a cleansing. You know, it just kind of like it aerates and keeps everything nice and cool, oxygenates. So we don't come out with barnacles on our bottom.
Oh, okay.
Just like boats, you know. So we don't have barnacles on our bum. But we cannot. Unfortunately, we cannot turn this off. This will stay at this basic. If I try and turn this off at this volume, it will keep on going. It will just recharge itself. It's about 10 minutes. 5 or 10 minutes. So if it's not too loud, we'll carry on. If it's okay, then we'll just sit here. Ooh, I've just found some bubbles. Hello, I found the jets.
So for all those single ladies out there, what is your status? Are you single?
I'm
available?
single. I'm single and available.
Now, do you have?
But I'm choosing.
You're choosing.
I am choosing. Yes. I'm not an easy throw over. I have a wonderful daughter called Amber who lives in England, who's just started university now for art and art history in Reading, and she's a gorgeous girl. I'll be seeing her soon, and yeah, I miss her. She comes out sometimes to see me out here, or comes out to Ibiza out to Spain and visits me, and it's fun. You know, it's always good to see her. I turn her on to new music which comes out here first, and she turns me on to raunchy films. When I say raunchy, I just mean kind of like very arty films. You know, so she's got an artistic bent when it comes to kind of like choosing her films. But I'm a bit of a film buff. I like collecting films. Yeah, people collect stamps or dolls or cards and stuff. I have about 4,000 or 5,000 films.
Well, I have to admit, when I came to your house, I was surprised you didn't have a fog hat room full of memorabilia.
No, I think, you know, my memories of Foghat, as I say, if I can remember back to the 70s, 60s and 70s as vividly as I can, I rather keep them in my mind. I don't have to put them on the wall. Some people like that. Some people want to, you know, be remembered of every show that they played. I don't. I'm really not that type of person for some reason, you know. No, as I say, I do have gold records and platinum records from different things I played on Tommy. The film, I've been involved in that, playing some bass, and that was the film version, and also the stage production or the original version of Evita with Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Not Madonna?
Not Madonna, no, with Julian Covington, with David Essex, Julian Covington, Paul Nicholas, all the original cast of the original Evita. So, I mean, Julie Covington was the original girl that sang Don't Cry For Me, Argentina.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So that was